Welcome back to Men versus Ego. I have a special guest today, and it happens to be one of my family members that lives back back in Illinois. We go way back from childhood years to adolescence, adult, and we each have our own story to tell. And things happen for a reason, as we all know. So, without further ado, I proudly like to introduce my cousin Josie. And
Yay! Hi. Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here. So excited.
no problem, cuz. Glad you can come along in this podcast of mine that I've been trying to make for the past year, but you know how procrastination is a beast sometimes and lies you with different things like jobs and just you get lazy or you just forget about it, you put it to the back burner. And but luckily, we're back on track. Have a great producer. Shout out to my boy Garrett, who's gonna produce this afterwards. Great guy, also in the army. And glad to have you on again. And please let me not steal your show. Introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and yeah, we'll go from there, cuz.
Well, awesome. Yeah, so I'm from Harvard, a small town, kind of the suburbs of Chicago, and I've been basically raised here. And I'm an event coordinator. That's what I do for a living. I do a lot of weddings, fundraisers, birthday parties, so any type of parties. That's what I do here. But yeah, what else do you guys want to know about me?
That's it. You're more than that. You're more than an event coordinator. Like, let me see. Anything eventful happening that somehow the universe aligned in your way last
Anything
year?
eventful last year, this year, or both? Any year.
Any year, just any year.
Yeah, I mean, well, I feel like there's always something happening and always opportunities coming. I want to say the biggest thing that recently has really changed my life is that my brother moved in with me with his wife and child and my niece, and I think that's really changed my whole perspective in life. And I've always lived by myself, or I've been very independent, and living with my niece, that's kind of been a whole new perspective in life. I'm so in love with her, and I've been seeing things so different when you have a child around you, and it's really opened me up in different ways. So that's a new blessing, something I didn't even realize that I needed in my life.
It's always nice when you can give the baby back to the parents once you have enough time playing around with the baby.
That's
Yeah,
exactly right. That's a little bit of,
yeah.
that's
You're
awesome that you can do that for sure. Takes
yeah.
away the
That
need
makes
of
you
having your own kids.
that. Yeah, I know that. I know you and your boyfriend Chris. Um, which shout out to Chris if he's around the area. But anywho's, um, it kind of makes you like the cool aunt, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'd like to think that I am the cool aunt. Sometimes they don't tell me that I'm cool, but I think I am.
I'm sure everybody thinks you're cool. I mean, Anna wouldn't be there if you weren't cool, right, Anna?
Yeah, we do. I do have a longtime friend here with me, kind of basically our family member now. Do you want to say hi to the camera?
That's my girl Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hi,
And
Joe.
yeah, just if you can hold the mic closer, that'll be great.
Okay.
Thank you, Anna.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Um, so again, that was a good introduction. Cut it out, like whatever little time lapse that we had that we feel like filler words or whatever. He'll edit it, so don't worry about it. Um,
Awesome.
So today's episode is about trusting the universe, and like you shared a little bit about how your brother moved in with you with his wife and his baby, and it's kind of like, you got family around you, which is it's a very Hispanic thing to do when you have your families
Hmm.
close. You want your families close to each other, and it's very rarely that you'll see a traditional uh, Hispanic person at long later on in life in a nursing home. One of the kids will eventually take them in, take care of them. It's a pretty nice thing to do, you know. It's like one of those pay it forward. They took care of me, and now it's my turn to take care of them. So any
Exactly.
anyways, so yeah. So what do you see the universe as, or what's the universe to you? In other words.
I think that's a very big question. It's a loaded question for sure. I feel like the universe, my perspectives have always changed. As you get older, you keep thinking, oh, it's this, it might be this. Where I'm at now, I feel like it is such a grand, like energetic, you know, like feel to it. It's like it's really what you create. It's like your perspective. I feel like anyone could a universe could be completely different to you. To me, it's really your perspective, what we think it is, and that becomes your reality. Like I really think that it is what I think the universe is. Like basically whatever you think that is, if that makes sense.
Okay. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever you think the universe is. And would you think that the universe, thus far in your X amount of years of life, has blessed you, or hasn't been so righteous towards you? What do you think?
I think blessed me for sure. I feel, there's always going to be some struggles, but these struggles obviously make you stronger. And I do feel like whatever you have, those struggles are because, you are strong enough to overcome them and to learn from them. So I definitely feel anything and everything is a blessing. And it's just a matter of you learning from that. And it's going to keep coming back until you do grow from that. So I feel like everything is a blessing in my life.
So you see everything. I guess, for lack of better words, even the ugly stuff that happens in our lives is there to teach us something.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I do believe.
Okay. Well, I also believe that too, by the way. Uh, I know recently we both had our share of um, tragedies in the family, and you were there when my mom passed away, and I was like 14, um, and it shook me. It did shook me to the core, and now I know that a couple years ago, um, que Dios lo tenga en descanso y en el cielo. Your dad also passed away as well. How
Hmm.
how was that? How did that change? How did that mold you from you were already an adult, so how did that mold you
Hmm.
more as a woman that you are, the person that you are, the aunt that you are? How did that mold Josie?
Yeah, well, it was a very difficult time, and I feel like how it molded me, it was just basically seeing life in a different light. No matter what age you are, losing a parent is very hard to overcome, and it still hurts to this day. You just learn to live with that pain, but also you also realize how much you love them, no matter if they're not here. There was a time where I really thought that grief, it was basically all the love that you still had to give to that parent. So it's you still love them no matter what. And how it's changed my perspective now is just you never know what's going to happen. Every day is a blessing, and sometimes we get so caught up in our everyday life and that we take things for granted. But we have to give our thanks to the higher power, to God, at the end of the night, and be like, oh my God, we're healthy. I have my family here tonight. Everyone's safe. Because you never know what's going to happen. So that really changed my perspective, and not to take anything for granted.
Beautifully said. Um, I share. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Beautifully
You
said.
hear me?
I share the same sentiment. Um, it's always hard when you lose a loved one. Um, it's just, it forces you to grow and know that life isn't forever. There's always a start and an end to everything. And you got to cherish those moments that you do have. Um, and that's why I, well, I gave you a heads up when was it, a couple of days ago, about doing this episode. And the reason I chose you was because you're one of the few family members that I feel a kinship to, that I can literally talk about anything and you won't scold me for it. You won't hold it against me. So, and plus we're both into like mystical stuff. I remember going into when you used to live at the orchard and talk about tarot cards with you, and the whole twin flames and all that stuff, and it was just, you were there. And so I really appreciate you being there. um,
Well, I
but
feel the same way about you, and I feel God always puts the right people at the right time, and there's a reason why we have this connection.
yeah. um, so trusting the universe, um, how would you say it's gotten you this far? um, I know you just got off of work at 2 a.m. last night, being a um, event coordinator. But like, how did you get there? How did you know the people that you know now? Like, I know you were working for a politician at one point in time, and you were just, you're a little bit of everywhere. So how did you know that at that point in time that's where you're meant to be, and how do you know you're meant to be right now where you are? That's where you're meant to be.
Yeah, so it's always hard. I feel like we were just talking. I was talking to Anna about this yesterday, about like joining the podcast with you and talking about trusting the universe and what that really means. And I think we came to a conclusion. It's really trusting yourself, is trusting the universe, trusting that you are in the right place and the universe will provide what you need. And that's really how accidents happen. But are they really accidents? But yeah, that's how I got my job. Was basically, I was riding my bike and I saw this beautiful building which was called Starline, and I was like, I want to work there. I don't know what it is or whatever. So I would drive my bike, ride my bike back and forth, and I saw that they had a restaurant sign open, and I went in just how I was, so sweaty and everything from riding my bike, and I asked for a job application. I filled it out, and I started working as a busser and a hostess there. And then I kind of worked my way up to being an event coordinator. And
Hmm.
I remember creating a vision board in 2016, and I put the JLo, the wedding planner, on there. And 2 years later, I ended up being an event coordinator, and I'm still working as an event coordinator. It's going to be about 9 years doing that. So it's just really trusting on the universe, trusting in what you want, and you'll get where you need to be.
And that's a thing you have a passion for, right? You love coordinating
Coordinating,
events
yeah.
like that, don't you?
I do. I love the details and everything and planning. I love helping people, and I really do think I have one of the best jobs out there. You meet people, you listen to their love stories, and then you're part of that. And then at working so hard, such a stressful day for them, it's like I could be that person they rely on and such important, and it's all for one day. So it's goes by fast, but they are trusting that you are there for that one day, and they keep you in that memory forever, and I keep them forever as well. So it is a very amazing job that I have.
Well, I'm glad you got your vision board up back in 2016, and now 2 years later you got the job that you wanted. Speaking of vision boards, I was reading this book called The Secret, and it actually spoke about vision boards and putting what you want just close to the door. So when you leave, whether you go to work or you go to school or grocery shopping, you always get a glance at that vision board, whether it be event coordinator, $1 million, a new car, and you always keep it in the top of your head, the top of your mind. And
Hmm.
it's crazy how we attract certain things similar to our vision board.
Yeah, I agree. I love the concept of vision board, and it's such a fun activity and create like a creative way to kind of express yourself and what you want. I re- highly recommend doing vision boards, but I always say whatever really calls you, whatever really moves you, because sometimes it's like, oh, I just want a
Mhm.
million dollars, but it's like, do you really feel that energy, that you feel connected to that? Sometimes we put things on there, but you want to make sure you put things that really move you in that time, because that's really what you're going to be able to attract, because that's the momentum, the energy is already there.
And I know that you have a book club. I recently saw on one of your Instagram stories, you, Anna, and I believe Christian's in there too. I love
Yeah.
Audible. I love Audible, and I kid you not, I have maybe like 20 plus books in there that I've heard. I'm not much of a reader. I'll be the judge of that. I'll be my own judge and executioner. But it's weird for me that I have to have the book in physical copy, or else I didn't do anything with it. Does that make any sense? In other words, I have the book on Audible, but I also need the copy of the book physically, because that to me,
Hmm.
I guess it shows me that, hey, look,
It's
I'm actually
physical.
reading books and I have them on my shelves.
No, yeah, you got to do whatever makes you feel that you're becoming that person. If that reading a physical book makes you feel like a reader, more power to you. But don't, everyone's different. So I do see the bigger impact once you're following along or having that physical book with you.
Yeah, tell me about it. People laugh like, dude, you're wasting twice as much money on books. Why don't you just keep it on Audible? I'm like, hey man, I don't know. I just like physical copies. It's a good feng shui for the house, for the apartment. And I can show people like, hey, look, I've actually listened to this book. I read this book or XYZ. But speaking of books, the book club, are you guys reading like one book a month or one book every semester? Or how does that work?
Yeah, so we decided to do this book club with our basically all our entire family, all women. You know how we mostly
Mhm.
have a lot of women in our family, so aunts and cousins. But it got a little out of control. I think we had maybe like 13 to that point, Anna, is it about 13 people. And it
Wow.
was, we still have to work on how to coordinate because everyone has a busy schedule. And it's become difficult once it's the first time and it's abroad. Um, it's a lot of us, and it's also the first book that we decided to read. It's Atomic Habits, and it's a self-help book, so it takes a little bit longer because you have to implement, kind of let that resonate, everything that you're reading, versus reading more of a fantasy book or more like a storyline. This one's something
Yeah.
that you're learning and reteaching yourself. But um, yeah, I mean, this book has taken us forever to finish. We haven't
Mhm.
completed it yet, so we don't know when the next one will be. So we're just kind of taking it one book at a time.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I heard that book is pretty good. I haven't read it myself, but it's in my my to read pile, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, no, highly
let me know how it goes.
I will, but yeah, you read it, start reading it because it's a perfect book to start reading in the beginning of a January or anytime actually, anytime that you feel you're ready for a change. I think that's a great place to start.
Definitely change is good. And for those who want to know about a little bit more about the mystical tarot stuff, the death card in tarot isn't actual death. It's change. It's how a cocoon does to a butterfly, how it metamorphs into from a caterpillar to a butterfly. So in tarot, that's the death card. So something has to quote unquote die in a way in order for it to change.
Mhm.
So beautifully said, cousin. Beautifully said. Um,
Likewise.
let me see. I'll share a little bit about my manifestation. So, as people know, I'm in the military, and there's no army base, active duty army base in Chicago. And for the longest time, I'm like, I'm gonna live in Chicago. I want to live in Chicago. And a couple of years ago, I want to say back in 2018, 19, I got a chance to go recruiting. And they're like, where do you want to go? And I said, can you guys put me in Chicago? And then they're like, yeah. And so they put me in, as soon as they found out I spoke Spanish, they put me in Little Village. Shout out to Little Village. I love you guys. La Villita, the best tamales, best tacos in the world. Um, but yeah, it was just like, wow, like in my head, like you said about the vision board earlier, but it was in my head constantly like, I want to be closer to my family. I miss my friends. I miss my, just everybody, my roots where I came from. And luckily, I got the chance to be there for 3 years, and it was a beautiful city. I met a lot of great people, but it just goes to show you like the law of attraction, whatever your vibe of whatever you're thinking, it takes time, but it comes true eventually. And I think that's one of the things, cause that people lose, they get impatient. They get impatient and they're like, yeah, this doesn't work because they wanted to work in 1 or 2 months. But you said yourself, you started back in 2016 with the vision board. Is that correct?
Yep.
And how long did it take you to be an event coordinator again, please?
I want to say maybe a year, a whole
A
year
ye-
after, but it was still in my vision there.
There you go. So it takes time, and I know time's a concept that's it's like, oh, it's so easy to say it's time, but those who know, Einstein proved that there was no such thing as time. Everything is happening all at once. We don't age, but we do age. But the time is fictional. It's something that we put in society. We're late for work. We got to go to school. Um, it's time to get up. XYZ. It's a relative term. Um, but what else? Cause like, what else has the universe that you trusted? You said, Jesus, take the wheel, and it took you to greener pastures. Anything you want to share?
I mean, I think the biggest blessing that I get from the universe is the people around me. I feel like, we do get material things, we get the career that we want, but it's the
Yeah.
biggest blessing. I really do believe it's the connection to humans, the people that we meet. I've had so many great people that have been in my life, and sometimes they're no longer in my life no more, but they're still a blessing. They've been a blessing. Perfect example is Gloria, the person that I live with at the orchard. You know, she was like a grandmother. I have both my grandmas, but they're not here with me in the United States, so it was kind of like a grandmother with me now. And yes, she really has had a big impact in my life, and she's no longer with us, but she's still someone that I care for, and you know, want to become a person like a little bit that she was. You know,
Yeah.
she was so grateful, always giving, and it's like, oh my God, there is still people like that, and it really inspires you to be a better person. And you know, I meet people all the time, and God puts you with these people to always learn something from them. So I feel like that's always been the biggest blessing I've received from the universe.
I love it. I love it. One of the things that I read in the book called The Power of Now, that people have this dogma with the word God. So when you mean God, is there like a bearded man upstairs and up in the sky looking at everything you do? Or is God like the life source? Is it energy? Is it is it just, is it religion out of it, but it's just been used over and over again? What do you think behind that word that you used, God, God?
Yeah,
What
and
is it
I
to
feel
you?
like that's a great question. I feel like I've always asked that. You know, I grew up Catholic. I would go to church, and I lived with Laura, which was Christian, showed me the Bible and everything. And us as humans, we always want to label something. We always want to figure something out and label it. And I've given up on that. I'm like, I feel God is love, and whatever, however form he is, physical form, energy form, whatever, but I know there is a God, and I stop trying to define what that looks like for me. As long as I feel it, that's basically what I think God is right now for me.
I would say I'm about around the same ballpark as you for sure. Um, you mentioned Miss Gloria showed you the Bible. Is that correct?
Hmm.
Um, I personally only read a couple passages of it, but I know one of the passages in the books I've read. One of them being, uh, I want to say, the secret or the power of. They mentioned that the kingdom of heaven is within you, and that to me speaks like you already, where you are, you can already have everything that you desire. You just had to believe it, that you have it already. And I believe you hit on that point maybe like 10 minutes ago. Just you have to feel it. You have to know, even though it's not physically there, I guess, and for lack of better words, pretend that you have it already. Like, oh, I'm already a event coordinator. I already work at Starlight. I already have this house. My brother already lives with me. You know, stuff like that. But it just, you have to feel it, like you said earlier.
Yeah, I agree. I feel you have to live in that energy, and you might not get it exactly how you pictured it, but the feeling is there. So I think that's going to be like the biggest, like, you got it moment, you know, once you're like, oh, I had this feeling already. Like, it's that, you know, and it's uh,
Yeah.
like, for example, for me, my niece is everything right now. Living with her has like changed my life. I was going through such a hard time. Someone that I love dearly had passed, and you know, this little girl would come to my bedroom, and she would not know what was happening in my life, but I felt her love, and she would like just be with me watching movies, something so simple, but I just felt like that connection. I felt someone was here that I loved, and it's that feeling. It's like, oh, maybe I thought it would be with this person that had passed, but I'm like, I have this same connection with someone else, and it might not be how I want it or how I thought I wanted it, but it's even better.
Wow. Let another tiny human made you feel that not all hope is lost, and then there's more to life than just a passing away of another person that you love. That with every passing there's a new rebirth. There's something else to live for, someone else to live for. that's that's touching.
Yeah,
um
you said it better than I did, but that's exactly it. You just There's always something more, and it could be better than what you imagine. You just have to have faith.
yeah, you got to. You mentioned something about energy. I would say that faith is energy. I would compare faith to energy because you can't see it, but you can feel it. You have that faith, you have that energy, you have that aura that something positive is going to come to your into your life. And maybe if we switch the word faith to energy, maybe finally we'll figure out slowly what how life works, if that makes sense. Could be because what is energy? I know we go back to middle school or high school that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It's just a continual flow of uh, protons, neutrons, electrons, or whatever the case may be. Anything else to add?
No, yeah, I do truly believe that it is a feeling, and without faith, I don't know what we wouldn't be able to have dreams or whatnot. Move on, wake up every day. I feel faith and believing is a big part of having that energy and saying that positive mind and getting what you want.
No, for sure. Um, I would say, like again, I grew up like you, Catholic, um, but as I grew older, my I guess you want to say my faith's changed into more like spiritual. And I don't know if it's the same for you.
It
Like
is,
I
yeah. I
don't.
feel like.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. I think as you get older, you start to question everything. Your beliefs. Even if you do believe still in some Catholics, but you question everything and you want to explore and be like, my mom told me this, but do I believe in this? Like, I feel like that's such a beautiful thing to rediscover your beliefs, who you are as you get older, and some things still align and other things don't. But it's good to not be scared to explore and to kind of, you might learn something new. And like you said, the spiritual ways that we've navigated, we've learned something good, and some things always come back to the same things. As Catholics, there's always something, something that brings you back to that in a way.
Yeah, for sure. I can name a couple of things actually that bring me back. Um, but you said earlier we were talking about feeling, and we were talking about energy, and we were talking about patience, and how it took a year, and how it took me a couple years to get what I wanted. For those who don't know, the temperance card in tarot is that of letting the universe decide. Let Stop trying to figure out how you're going to be an event coordinator, or how you're going to get the job that you want, or how it's going to happen. Let the universe take care of that. Your job is to just feel it. Feel it. The universe will take care of everything else. Don't try to figure it out, because we're going to go our human minds cannot comprehend that. And I think you agree with me on this one, cuz that it's just one of those, that old saying, let go and let Jesus take the wheel. Like,
Hmm.
trust that whatever you have on the top of your head or your vision board, or something that you want so much that you've been slowly getting at, it's bound to happen. Just give it, again, time.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's takes time, but also it does take a little bit of yourself to commit yourself to making that change. Whatever, it's like you said, you need to change in order for things to also change. Like the death card, like you said, it's not doesn't mean you're dying. It just means we're ending who we were to become the new version that we want to be. And in order for things to come, you need to make a little change to see the impact that will bring to your life.
For sure. Little ripple starts somewhere, right? And it makes a waves in a pond or in a lake. If you throw a pebble, it's going to make a little ripples. So it has to start somewhere. It just takes. I keep using the word time. Yeah, I wish I could use something else, but so I know we have 10, 12 minutes left. Um, any book, any thing that you recently discovered that you said, wow, like this is weird. I was just thinking about this yesterday, or I had this dream like a month ago, and now it's like deja vu. Like any strange or mystical experiences that you recently have that you would want to share?
I think I want to share and recommend this book to everybody. It's very simple. It takes you back to the basics, but it's very profound. So the book that I recommend is the Mastery of Love. I highly recommend to anybody reading this book. It's so simple to read, but the lessons in these books are very, very impactful, and it's very common once you start reading. It's like, oh wow, like we know this, but sometimes we need that reminder. And I feel like for 2025 things should be simple, and my resolution for 2025 is we are living, we're not surviving. So we have to, yeah, we got to teach ourselves, and trust the universe as well. And that's the goal for 2025, is just to live the best life that you can. And Mhm.
Wow.
What about you, Tika?
How
What
do
is your resolution for next year?
well, before I answer that, how did you hear, or who recommended this book, or did it just fall in your lap somehow?
It fell on my lap. I feel like I was kind of doing some research, and I wanted a book that was self improvement, kind of spiritual at the same time. And I'm like, the title in itself, it's like, okay, who doesn't want to master love? Like it's a really good book. So I really recommend it to everybody.
Thank you, cuz. Um, for me, you said it. Just keep living. You said we're not surviving, we're living. And honestly, when back in 2021, or 2020, I know it's go back to like 4 or 5 years ago, but I had the thing called an ego death, where something happened to me, and cousin, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That hurt more than both my parents passing away, but it was a rebirth for me. It made me look at myself in the type of person that I was at that moment in time, and now, um, getting back on my feet a couple years ago and doing better, and it made me stronger. But now for 2025, it's just I'm right behind you. Just keep living. Enjoy your life. Life is meant to be enjoyable. If you like going fishing, like me, I just got back from fishing not too long ago. I probably still smell like fish or whatever, but anywho's, I love fishing, and cause you love event coordinating, just do what you love. Love it. go back to the mastery of love. It's like, live your life to the fullest. I know it's easier said than done, and but if you can, just do it. What's stopping you? Is your mindset? Is it an illness? Is it, what is it? What's that is behind that? Um, but yeah, because I'm gonna keep on living too. So I got nothing, no crazy resolutions like I'm gonna hit the gym and I'm gonna lose 150 pounds or I'm gonna get jacked or anything like that. I mean, I hope I do, right? But for me, it's just treat other people with respect, dignity. Don't let your emotions get in the way. You control your emotions. Be stoic and just spread the love. Yeah, that's it. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, it's beautiful though. We need more of those people here.
Yeah. Um, but I know that my other family member holding the mic over there, I know she's into the whole spiritual stuff too, and I'm happy that she's here with us, sharing this moment that later is going to be on YouTube for the followers or subscribers to look at. Hopefully, we'll get more. Um, but yeah, because how's how's what do you say it? How's life right now for you?
Life is good. I feel like I'm in that transition of change in my life, and it's not always easy, but it's needed. And yeah, I am enrolling for new classes, just trying to become a better person. You that's one thing. It's just keep on growing, keep on searching who you are, and there's never a time where you're going to be like, I'm done becoming a better person. Like that never ends. So I'm in that period of time where it's like I need that growth. I need to evolve what I've been doing to something more, because it's like once you reach your time at one area, you wanting more, and that's where I'm at now. It's like, okay, what's next? What's gonna be fueling me to wake up and to be like, okay, this is challenging me, but it's for a better. So that's where I'm at now.
Challenging you. Nice. I like that word, challenge. It makes you appreciate the things you have more when it's a challenge than when it's given to you. At least I think that. Um, how
Yeah,
that
I
saying
agree.
that that saying that you were born with the silver spoon. Yeah, everything is given to you.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
when it's a challenge to get what you want, then that's when you appreciate what you have. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. We got 5 minutes left, but I just want to say thank you for coming back on the podcast, and thank you for agreeing to be on here on such short notice. I gave you a couple days. I'm like, hey, cuz, you want to be on the podcast on Saturday? Well, originally it was going to be on Saturday, but then it changed to Sunday, and then all the other stuff that we can leave out. I thank you. Love you to death. Um, I just
Yeah.
wish you can come. I wish you can come and visit sometime.
Well, I'll have to add it to my vision board to go to Texas to see you. But
Yeah,
no, for
definitely.
sure, I'll add you on there. No, but I'm grateful for this opportunity and to connect with you and to kind of talk about, what the universe means to the both of us, and how we've gotten to the place that we've gotten. So it's a great time to kind of connect and to talk about it.
For sure. And I wouldn't have any other person talk about trusting the universe than you. Um, and I hopefully that vision boards or whatever we put on top of our mind will come true sooner rather than later. And I hope that you have a very prosperous new year full of love, joy, prosperity, family, and everything that you hold dearly in your life, like Anna. And anyway, anything you wanna, any closing remarks, any things that should have been said that weren't?
I can't think of any right now. No.
No.
Um,
Any great
nope.
quote that you recently heard?
You're putting me on the spot here. No, I think, you know, it's I just really I feel like we got to start living instead of surviving, because I think we've been in survival mode for a while, so we want to make sure that we're back to we're in control of our lives, we're in control of what we want, and our
Yeah.
happiness, our health. Like, we got to start living. That's the message I really want to take for next year.
Oh, well, that's a beautiful, beautiful quote. I don't know if you made it or you read it somewhere, you just can't remember it, but I like that. It's that Matthew McConaughey. You just gotta start living, brother. And
Yeah, maybe that's where I heard it from. I'll come to me.
maybe, yeah. But anyway, I'll leave. I'll leave it with a quote. Not, it's nothing to do with trusting the universe, but don't do for someone that they can do for themselves. It's a type of theft if you do it for them. In other words, if a person is capable of walking and getting him or herself the fruit that they want, but they keep asking you, or it doesn't have to be fruit, it can be a car, a house, anything, you name it. Put it, just change the fruit into whatever word you want that they can do for themselves, but they want you to do it. Don't do that. Don't let yourself be walked all over. Don't um, don't steal the freedom of the legs that the creator gave them. If they got the money in the bank, they can go get the house or if whatever the case may be, whatever they want. I'm not saying don't go out of your way every once in a while, and if obviously if the person's sick or they're ill or they don't have the means, just I guess use discernment. And but yeah, just don't let people walk over you if you have in the past. 2024, don't do it for 2025. And with that being said, I have nothing else. Cuz um again, thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you for the mic holder in the back. And
Let's give her a shout out.
yeah, thank you, Anna. Appreciate you. And yeah, love you too. So yeah, it'll be on my. Any last closing comments before we shut it off?
¿Quién, yo?
Anybody?
Las que sea, whoever.
¿Comentarios? ¿De qué?
Ajá, de cómo se va en la sesión.
Escuchen su corazón, su intuición, cuiden su cuerpo, tu flora intestinal, más que nada. Y
Chico's face.
y nunca dudes de ti, o sea, no confía en ti, confía en lo que dice tu ser, por muy loco que parezca o muy absurdo que parezca. Siempre hay algo como superior que te guía, y eso es como conectar como con tu, no sé, tu Espíritu Santo, tus ángeles o algo. Entonces, siempre que vayas por el camino correcto, lo vas a sentir en el corazón y te va a dar paz. Entonces, que el amor sea tu brújula y que el corazón sea el que te impulse en tu camino. Amén.
Namaste, Anna. Namaste. All right, cuz. I'm out.
Thank you. We'll have a good one.
Thank you.
Have a happy
You'll
new
see
year.
you'll
Love
see it.
you.
He'll edit it. He'll edit it. He'll cut off things like this probably. You can cut it off here, Jordan. And he'll put it he'll send me a copy, and then I'll probably post it like on Instagram later, like a little clip, but it'll go on YouTube with everything edited. What seems to lag here, it won't lag in the actual video.
Okay.
Does that make
Trust
any
the
sense?
professionals.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could
It
overwrite
said that.
my whole thing if you need to.
Yeah, you're fine. But I don't want to take more of your time, girl. I appreciate you having coming on here and talking about life and stuff. See how easy it is? It's just go with the flow. Not really.
Yeah, well, I'm proud of you for doing this. Sometimes
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know it takes courage, but you seem to be a natural on this. So congratulations and good job.
Well, I hope. Thank you. I just hope to keep on going. It's just with work and everything, it's hard, but you got to make it. You got to, if you want it, you got to make it happen somehow. So,
Yep.
but yeah,
Priorities. There's always time for
priorities.
The Power Now. I think I've heard it about
me
being
too.
present, being like in the moment, being present,
Yeah,
taking a walk, connecting. Yeah, I think I have heard it, but I'll
it's a great book.
to it.
The Eckhart
But anyway, tell the family I said what's up. I always talk to Nino and Nina. If you see Tita, tell her I said hi. Tell Alan I said hi. Just tell everybody I said hi.
I will. I'll say hi to the family. I hope you have a happy new year. Make sure you do a vision board or at least a mental Pinterest, whatever works for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to manifest a lot of things for 2025.
Well, I hope they all come
I see you,
true.
Anna. I see you. But love you, girls.
Okay, love
you
you.
too.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.